Well, hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Dusty Duke here. We're going to talk about some good information on how to grow your cleaning business. I've got my coffee here, I'm ready to go. If you need to grab some coffee or tea or whatever your drink is, feel free to do that. All right, well, let's get into it. We're going to talk about the fourth business principle of starting a successful, growing cleaning company. Um, if you're new to my channel, I talk about the 7 business principles of growing a successful cleaning company. I did another video that did kind of an overview of what those 7 business principles are if you want to go look at them. And now what I'm doing is I'm creating individual videos that dig deeper into what those business principles are. So in this video, we're going to talk about the fourth business principle of starting a successful growing cleaning company, and that's creating a money plan. Okay, this is something I didn't do a good job with in the cleaning company that I started years ago. Now, I was pretty good at marketing and I was pretty good at cleaning. Now, I wasn't good at training other employees on how to clean, um, but I was good at cleaning, I was good at marketing. However, I didn't have a solid money plan in place. And if you want to run a successful cleaning company, you need a good financial strategy. Otherwise, you're going to go broke. Now, we're going to talk about 5 key areas for creating a successful money plan for your cleaning business. Before we get started, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button on YouTube so you don't miss any future videos that I create. I'd really appreciate it. My goal is to make over 100 videos in 2025 in order to help your cleaning business grow. And I have about a dozen other videos that I'm going to be publishing over the next few days. So make sure you subscribe to stay updated on all this helpful content. And with that, let's go ahead and jump in. So point number 1 is, if you're going to create a successful money plan, you have to price your services correctly. Pricing your cleaning services correctly is the key factor that determines whether you make a profit or end up in the red. Now, a lot of cleaning companies starting out, they don't price their services right. Sometimes they underprice and charge only slightly more than minimum wage, or they overprice. So the goal is to price your services at a fair market value. Now, I'd encourage you, you can do some market research, maybe call a few cleaning companies, ask for some quotes for your house to see what their pricing is. But a fast and simple way to ensure that your pricing is fair if you're just starting out in the cleaning industry, or if you're a small cleaning business, is to take your state's minimum wage. Okay? So here in Colorado, the minimum wage, I believe for 2025, it's going to go up to $15 an hour. So you're going to take your minimum wage and to price my cleaning services in a way that allows me to make money and to pay my taxes and invest in marketing and hire new employees and things like that, purchase new supplies, maintain equipment. I'm going to take my minimum wage of $15 an hour and I'm going to multiply it by 4. Okay? I'm going to multiply it by 4, and if I do that to $15 an hour, that brings me to $60 an hour. That means if I want to run a cleaning business that grows and scales and reaches more customers, I need to charge about $60 an hour for Colorado. Now, this number came from contacting cleaning companies, doing market evaluations. There's a lot of factoring that went into this, and some of the stuff that we talk about in this video, went into this pricing factor. So it's not 100% perfect, but it does work if you're a small cleaning business with 5 or 10 employees, or if you're just starting out. Whether you're in New York or Louisiana, if you take your local minimum wage and multiply it by 4, that's a good starting point for pricing your services. Now, I will say this. If your cleaning business does grow to a point where now you have a warehouse and now you've got a fleet of cars, and you're franchising out locations like a lot of cleaning companies do, you're going to need to charge more. cleaning franchises are going to charge. Here in Colorado, the big cleaning franchises typically charge twice that amount. They're not charging $60 an hour. Typically, they're charging 100 to 120 an hour. It's crazy. So if you're planning on renting out warehouses and buying fleets of vehicle, this formula is not going to work for you. But again, if you're a small business, if you're just starting out, this will be just perfect for you. Take your minimum wage, multiply it by 4. That's a good pricing point. Okay. Now let's move on to point 2, which is coming up with a sales target. Now, a sales target simply means that you're setting financial goals for yourself in terms of how much money you want to make in the future. Now, your sales target should be based off of your budget, which we're going to talk about here in just a second. So just keep that in mind. A good sales target is going to be based off your budget. Now, let's just say that I'm just starting out, and for example, I'm charging $60 an hour for my cleaning services, and I'm still working full time, but I want to make $1,000 a month. That's my first sales target. Okay, I don't got a budget yet, but that's, I just want to make my first $1,000. If I do that, then $1,000 divided by my $60 hourly rate comes out to be about 16 hours for the month. That means I need to make it a goal to book at least 16 hours each month if my sales target is $1,000. Okay. Now you'll want to break that down into smaller, more manageable goals. So for example, if my goal is to book 16 hours a month, I should aim for 4 hours each week. And if the average customer spends 2 hours on a cleaning, I'll need to find 2 customers to book every single week. So breaking your monthly sales target into weekly or daily goals is going to make it easier to stay on track and meet your targets and grow. Okay. Now, $1,000 a month might be your first sales target, especially if you're working part-time or just starting out. It's a great initial goal to aim for, but as your business grows and you come up with a budget, you're going to go from $1,000 a month to $2,000 to $4,000 and beyond. Okay. Always reevaluate your sales target as your business evolves, because you need to keep aiming for something. That's how your business is going to grow. So that's point 2, is setting a good sales target. Now let's move on to point 3, which is having a good budget in place. Now, a lot of cleaning companies, when they start out and make their first $100 a week or $1,000 a month, they tend to keep all the money for themselves. They get excited. Okay. They might pay a little bit of taxes, but then they spend all the rest on their personal life, like eating out or putting it towards car rent or whatever. I don't know why I said car rent for their house rent or their car loan. I don't know. Maybe they're renting a car. But what you need to do is create a clear budget and define your business costs and how much you're going to pay yourself. Now, if you don't budget, you won't have any money left over for the essentials like marketing or advertising or maintaining your vacuums or investing in better cleaning products. So take time to list all the expenses that you're going to anticipate for your cleaning business. So for example, you'll need to account for purchasing cleaning supplies. You're going to need to upgrade vacuum equipment. You're going to have website costs. You're going to be doing online marketing and probably have bookkeeping software and gas for driving between customers' home and liability insurance to cover, potential damages. Now, it's also crucial to set aside money for taxes. And typically, this isn't financial advice, but typically a safe amount to set aside is between 25 to 30%. Now, I recommend consulting a bookkeeper, an accountant, or a CPA for guidance on tax planning. Okay. But think through all your business costs carefully and develop a budget so that every time a customer pays you $100, you know where that money's going. So for example, $30 might go to taxes, $20 might go to supplies and maintenance, and then $10 might go to advertising, and then the rest becomes your take-home salary. Okay. Now, here's an important point to understand. Not all money that your cleaning business earns will be yours to keep. Okay, I know that's hard, but listen. If I charge $60 an hour, that's how much the business needs to make. It's not how much I personally get to take home. That's why multiplying your minimum wage by 4 works, because it's factoring in all the costs of running a typical startup cleaning business, and it's including scalability costs like hiring employees and paying their taxes, as well as the many other expenses that are associated with operating a cleaning business. I didn't just come up with $60 an hour because I told myself, I deserve to make $60 an hour. I'm worth that. No, no, no. $60 an hour is what takes into account all the expenses that are going to come with starting and growing a cleaning business. A lot of small cleaning companies, when they're first starting out, they really like the idea of taking home $60 an hour for themselves. And it's true that cleaning is a lucrative business. If you go on YouTube, there's all kinds of YouTubers out there saying you could make, millions of dollars a year doing cleaning. And that's true, but that's the gross sales. That's the total sales. That's not how much money you get to take home. That's how much money your business is making. That, millions of dollars a year that you're making in cleaning, a lot of that's going towards paying employees and, supplies and all these other costs. Now, just keep that in mind, okay? Because you can make a lot of money. You can take home a lot of money, but you need to scale correctly, okay? So, a lot of people think I'll charge 60 an hour and keep it all for myself to spend on my family and personal needs. But that approach is going to neglect those important costs of running a business. Now, if you want to personally make $60 an hour, you'll eventually need to hire employees and scale your business. And I don't want to talk too much about it in this video. I can make another video, but the way you do it is you hire an employee, and of course there's going to be costs that come with employees, especially if you're offering benefits and stuff. But let's just say, we'll throw out 10% of what your employee makes. So if you're charging your customers $60 an hour for an employee to go and clean their house, then maybe 10% of that goes into the profit of the company. So there's ways that you can scale that, and we'll talk about it a little bit more down the road. Now, if you're just starting out and it's only you, be prepared to keep around 50 to 60% of your revenue after taxes and expenses. Okay? For example, if you charge $60 an hour, after setting aside money for taxes and budgeting for expenses, you're probably going to take home about $36 an hour, which is still really good. Okay? I know people who went to Harvard University or they're computer geniuses, and they're only making like $25 or $30 an hour. So $36 an hour is still pretty good, especially if you're getting all the taxes taken out. Now, if you want like health benefits or retirement savings, you're going to need to include those costs in your budget. For example, let's say that health insurance for you and your family costs $1,000 a month. Now, it probably costs that more, but I'm using easy math here because I'm terrible at math. Now, if you're working full-time in your business, so you're working 40 hours a week, totaling 160 hours a month at $60 an hour, you're going to need to allocate about $6.25 from every hour charged towards health insurance. That means that about 10% of your gross revenue should go towards health insurance. Similarly, if you want, a 401k or vacation funds or personal savings, those need to be included in your budgeting process. So when you factor in both business and personal expenses, your budget will directly influence your sales targets. Okay? Your sales targets and budgets will work together to shape your business's financial future. That's why creating a detailed, thoughtful budget is crucial. So I know I spent a little bit more time on that factor, but it is an issue that a lot of cleaning businesses, have a hard time wrapping their heads around because it's new, and the idea of budgeting, it just isn't appealing. It isn't. It's not appealing to me, but we need to have a good budget because it's going to make our business healthy in the long run. Okay? So let's move on to the fourth step, which is you got to have a solid bookkeeping process in place. Now, there was a major failure point for me in my cleaning business, and it's because I didn't have a proper bookkeeping system, which led me to accruing about $1,200 in accounts payable with a local vendor. Now, let me tell you, letting accounts payable spiral out of control is one of the main reasons businesses shut down. Many small businesses don't close because, well, the work is too hard or they feel like they're not making enough money, although those can be some factors, but the real issue is often unpaid debts. And that's what happened to me. Now, eventually, I managed to pay off the $1,200 in accounts payable and cleared my business debts, but I had to find ways outside of my cleaning business to do it, and that's a whole story for another time. But it highlights the importance of having a strong bookkeeping system to keep your finances under control. It's crucial to keep track of all your financial transactions, okay? Every dollar your company earns should be recorded as gross revenue in your bookkeeping. Similarly, every dollar you spend, whether it's paying yourself, purchasing new products, paying an employee, it's got to be documented. Now, most accountants are going to rely on three key financial statements to manage your bookkeeping. There's the balance sheet, which provides kind of a snapshot of your cleaning company's assets and liabilities. There's the income statement, which sometimes is called the profit and loss statement. And this kind of details your revenue, your expenses, and the net profit over a specific period of time. And then there's your cash flow statement. And this tracks the movement of cash into and out of your company's bank account. And I'm not going to delve too deeply into the financial statements here. I may create another video to discuss them further. But the bottom line is that you need to track every single transaction in your cleaning business. And by doing this, you'll know if you're spending more money than you're making and exactly where your money's going. Now, if you dislike managing numbers and keeping records yourself, I highly recommend hiring a bookkeeper. Just make sure to include the cost of their services into your budget, okay? So having a well-organized bookkeeping process is essential for maintaining financial health. Now let's move on to the fifth and final point of creating a solid money plan, which is this. You've got to understand your data trends. Okay, that's what I call them, your data trends. Now this can be referred to in by various terms like data analysis or key performing indicators, which are people call KPIs. But the goal is the same. With a good budget and a solid bookkeeping system, you can analyze trends in your cleaning business and use that information to grow. So for example, if you've been tracking sales, you might notice that January and February are the slowest months in your area. However, sales may pick up in March, April, and May. Okay, so you're going to tell yourself, okay, I know that January and February are slow months, so I need to be prepared for that. I need to have extra reserves in the bank. And then March and April and May are going to pick up, so I need to make sure that I have the capacity to schedule additional cleanings. Now, here's an example of what kind of knowing your data trends looks like. Now, private families may cancel cleanings during the summer due to them traveling or having kids at home. Okay, so it's going to be slow when it comes to the business you do with private families. Now, home builders, on the other hand, may be busier during summer with construction projects, and that's going to increase the demand for construction cleanings. And the vacation industry might experience a boom during peak travel seasons, which is going to lead to more Airbnb bookings and a higher need for turnover cleanings for their vacation rentals. So, by identifying and understanding these trends, you'll be better equipped to adapt and grow your business throughout the whole year. Okay? Now, understanding which customers bring in the most business during specific months is critical for managing slow and busy seasons effectively. And by identifying your target markets and tracking your sales trends, you can adjust your marketing and sales strategies accordingly. Okay. So if you ask yourself, do private families tend to reduce spending after the holidays? Or do home builders increase their cleaning demands in the summer because of all the, construction? Answer those questions. And once you identify those patterns, you can take more proactive steps. Okay. So plan ahead for slow seasons, prepare for the busy ones, set aside funds during busy periods in order to cover expenses when business slows down. Okay. Prepare for busy seasons, hire additional help, or stock up on supplies. Make sure you've got money to purchase more supplies to meet higher demand. Um, Now, I've created a video on my YouTube channel that dives deeper into understanding your market, which will help you better manage different types of customers, because knowing these trends and adapting to them is key to scaling your business over time. So while this video covered the basics of developing a money plan, there's much more to, kind of understanding the markets and having a deeper financial strategy. But these five foundational steps are essential and are going to help you be successful if you're just starting out or you're a small cleaning business. Okay. So if you have any questions about creating a successful money plan, please drop them in the comments below. I'll be happy to respond with any video content tailored to your specific questions. And your feedback helps shape the content I create, making sure that, it's as helpful as possible. Now, this video is one part of the 7 business principles that I teach at Dusty Duke to help cleaning businesses thrive. Now, remember, you can't focus on just one principle. You need a balanced approach, and you don't have to do it alone. That's why I'm here. So make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you don't miss any future videos. My passion is helping your cleaning business succeed. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.